Hi there, you're watching Market Cafe on ET Now with me, Shreyansi Singh and Srishti Sharma. And this is the show where we get you highlights coming in from globally as well as news from within the country as well. Tell you which stocks you should be keeping on your radar as well and tell you what the brokerages are saying as well. But first things first, well, let's take a look at what the US markets are doing.
Well, certainly, Shreyansi, it was indeed a good day coming in for the US markets, because what we have seen is that over 400 points of gain coming in for Dow Jones, the S&P 500 and even Nasdaq too gained in the green yesterday. It was a bit of a volatile day indeed, but yes, the benchmark indices did close higher and there were a lot of news flow around, as well as, yes, of course, in the initial trading session there was some concerns with respect to the fresh tariffs and the tariffs finally going through, but then of course there were some of the announcements or some of the expectations rather that there could be some moderation with respect to the tariffs that have been announced. It was the auto stocks that were doing pretty well for themselves, as Trump did decide to delay the implementation of 25% tariffs on the auto imports from Mexico and China by 1 month, and that helped the markets and even some of the auto counters do pretty well for themselves yesterday. It was Nasdaq too, which was up around 1%, and some of the other stock actions we were following Moderna, which surged around 16% following the optimism about its personalized cancer vaccine, and along with that, significant internal stock purchase by its CEO. So that was the trigger coming in from Moderna. But well, of course, yes, it was indeed a good day coming in for the US market. So we can definitely say that it's a good handover for the Indian markets as well. But the another macro data, Shreyansi, is the crude oil prices, and falling crude is also good for the Indian markets indeed.
Well, absolutely. Let's take a look at oil prices and what they did, because we've seen quite a move come in terms of the week that we've seen. Oil prices, of course, have been declining. For a third session, we saw them declining as investors were worried about OPEC Plus plans to proceed with output increases in the month of April, and US President Donald Trump's tariffs as well on Canada, Mexico and China. So those were something that also escalated trade tensions, raised a little bit of worries as far as energy demand is concerned. But when you take a look at Brent crude prices, 2.5% downtick is what you're looking at for Brent. Below that $70 a barrel level is where Brent was at. And when you take a look at US WTI as well, 3% decline coming in for US WTI. $66 a barrel is the kind of level that was notched as far as WTI was also concerned. Now prices, of course, paid some losses after hitting those multi-year lows earlier in the session. So Brent sank to $68 thereabout per barrel, its lowest coming in since December 2021. And even when you take a look at US crude futures, that's $65, lowest since May 2023. In terms of news flow, of course, you have US crude stockpiles that rose more than expected last week amid seasonal refinery maintenance. Also, gasoline and distillate inventories also fell due to a hike in exports. And this is, of course, according to the EIA. So that largely is the kind of handover coming in. Brent, of course, fell more than $2 after the data was released. So we're definitely keeping an eye on what really happens to US crude stockpiles going forward as well next week. But for now, you also have, in terms of other factors, OPEC Plus's output hike that kicks in from the month of April. And they're going to be hiking output by 138,000 barrels per day. So that also is the first output hike coming in, planned output hike since 2022. Definitely something that we're keeping an eye on as far as oil prices are concerned, Srishti.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.